Welcome to Red Eye. It's like Top Chef, if by top you mean bottom. Let's go to TV's Andy Levy for a pregame report. Andy, what's coming up on tonight's show?
Greg, everybody down here in America's Newsroom is pumped to be back at work after a weekend they're calling too damn long.
Yeah.
Coming up on the big show, Obama administration Green Jobs advisor Van Jones wasn't fully vetted by the White House. We'll take a look at whether this could cause problems. Then, is sharing email, Facebook, and Twitter accounts the best way for couples to stay faithful online? We report, you recoil in horror at the thought. And finally, President Obama speaks to the nation's school children. Did his blinks contain hidden coded messages? Some say no, but others say... Greg?
Andy?
When I'm called off, I got to sawed off, squeeze the trigger, and bodies are hauled off, Greg.
I couldn't have said it any worse or better. See you, Andy. Let's welcome our guest. I'm here tonight with Fox News Channel anchor Juliet Huddy. She's so hot she can boil a lobster with her own tears. Nebraska Congressman Lee Terry, best hair in Congress. He knows roll call votes like I know root beer floats. Bill Schultz in Turkey, he's a baster. And sitting right next to me, comedian Jim Norton. You can hear him every morning on the Opie and Anthony Show on Sirius XM Satellite Radio. If hilarity were chowder, he'd come in a bread bowl and you'd stab him in the face. If he actually had a face, it's our New York Times correspondent. Good to see you again, Pinch.
You may want to blurb it, you certainly can't curb it, and you won't want to verb it. I'm talking Bob Herbert, only in today's New York Times.
Oh, well done.
Thank you.
All right, to the Gregalogue. It's made of whole corn goodness. Gregalogue. So later today, President Obama is addressing a joint session of Congress, and you know it's going to be about some important stuff. Oh, wait, it's health care. For a moment, I thought maybe we'd hear something about the economy, the war on terror, Iraq, or the Sex and the City sequel. But it's health care. And that's because with that single issue, President Obama stepped in at big time. And the White House isn't sure who to blame, but they're still blaming anyway. So just for fun, let's review the folks currently on the bad side of the White House. There are those old people who showed up at the healthcare town halls and kicked ass while I sat home and ate Funyuns. They're still good. There's Rush Limbaugh, the de facto head of the Republican Party. There are those Tea Party protesters, or teabaggers to the smirking, clueless media. There's Dick Cheney and the CIA agents who tried to protect our country. There's a certain cable network that I won't mention. And there's you. Now, none of these bad eggs are elected officials. None of them are active politicians. None of them get haircuts at the congressional barbershop. Nope. In a country where checks and balances have checked out, these are the Americans who stepped up to the plate. Now, I know what the president is thinking. That this wasn't supposed to be so hard. He's got both houses and the presidency. Health care should have sailed through. But here's what happens when the media is behind you. You get ahead of yourself. You get overconfident. And then someone had to step up and say, hold on there, pal. And that someone is America. Didn't see that coming, did you? Please hold the applause until after the segment. Jim, love the new shirt, by the way.
Thanks a lot,
What's
Greg.
Obama got to do tomorrow to save health care?
I don't know. I mean, it's like I say in my new book, America First, Bub. I think that with Obama, a lot of this is like the emperor's new clothes. I also say many more cliched things.
Yes. You mean that people are beginning to see that he's an empty suit? Or a man without a suit?
I don't think he's that bad. I think he just got ahead of himself. And you were right. You made a brilliant point. They didn't call him out, and you get a little cocky, and then all of a sudden you have to start answering questions, and you kind of panic.
Exactly.
Yeah, but who's they? We're talking about the mainstream media here, and how dare you guys besmirch the network I work for? We double the ratings, double the ratings of both CNN and MSNBC combined. We are the mainstream media, and I will not sit idly by while you besmirch
Bill,
FNC.
when I was saying they, I meant space aliens.
Oh,
right.
You stay away from us, space aliens.
Hey, Congressman, do you think this public option thing is still going to be alive, or is it gone?
Well, I don't know what he's going to say, but if he wants to save it, he has to. Now, Speaker Veruca Salt says that she can't pass this without the public plan.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's when she won't work with Republicans and she won't work with moderates. She's only got the liberals to work with. So I'd chalk that one up into the duh category.
Yeah. I like the fact that he used a Willy Wonka reference. A lot of people don't bring up that wonderful movie. The first one's much better than the second one. What do you think, Julia? Do you think he's got a chance to sell? See, I think, you know, he's obviously an amazing speaker. an amazing speaker, an intelligent.
He smiles while he
an
speaks.
intelligence person.
Yeah.
If there's anybody who's going to pull this thing out, it could be him. What do you see him doing tomorrow?
The problem is that he has a horrible scheduler because he's doing this after he gives this speech to the school kids and deals with the inevitable, storm after that. He's going to be stressed out.
No, it's a blue word, Greg.
We can read that. It's okay. Yeah. But then he's got to wake up tomorrow, and then he's doing this. This is like way, way, way far into the game. Bill Clinton did this a while back. He did it earlier in in his term when he had to go out and face the people. They were a lot more open-minded then.
Yeah.
The scheduler needs to be fired. Who is the scheduler?
You must have had a wild weekend this weekend. Your voice is a little hoarse.
No, I have a cold, and I did go to Journey. Okay, I admit it.
I knew it.
I screamed, don't stop believing at the top of my voice.
Jim, I can pinpoint when everything went wrong. I want. Can you roll the tape? It was, I think, back in August 3rd of Obama.
I don't want the folks who created the mess do a lot of talking. I want them just to get out of the way so we can clean up the mess. I don't mind cleaning up after them, but don't do a lot of talking.
You know what? He's talking about business critics in terms of the economy, but it's the same thing. You shouldn't be telling your critics to get out of the way. You should be inviting them to debate you. And I think that was the moment when everybody said, "Okay, yeah, you got both houses. You're a popular guy, but you can't throw." You can't throw it in our faces.
And stop having radicals alongside you. It's frightening everybody. Oh, yes, and here's the Minister of the Interior, Farrakhan. It's like, what are you doing?
That would be entertaining, though.
Of course it would be. A sharply dressed man.
He has great suits, yeah.
But Congressman, one last word to you. The other error I think he made was when he brought up the Postal Service, which he was trying to make a legitimate point that the Postal Service can exist, and you can still have FedEx and UPS. However, it can only exist if it's like the Postal Service, meaning it sucks. So it created this kind of like horror show where it's like, well, if this public option is good, then it's going to kill competition. So the only way competition can stay alive is if the public option is bad, like the Postal Service. And that's where people started going, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, that's the way the people interpret it. When they think that government is inefficient, they can only do it by spending way too much money, like the post office.
Yeah.
So in my town halls that I had, and when I was out and about, people challenged me to come up with one good, effective, well-run government program, and I'm still thinking about it.
I'd say it's your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Well, that one's effective, but that's private sector, baby.
That's
free market right there.
Yeah, exactly. All right, from selling health care to trade.